No, we're not.
Fun?
No, if the
What do
Knicks
you
are losing,
mean?
I'm gonna be miserable.
I'll be fine.
I'm gonna be miserable. You know what? I'm saying Knicks are winning tomorrow.
Oh.
Fuck it. Here we go. Knicks are winning. See that guy? No, that's the wrong guy. See that guy? See him? He's over his assist prop. Jalen Brunson. He's going over his assist prop.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Heard yesterday that he's got no shot to win the Cy Young because it's going to Skubal again. Skubal's winning the Cy Young. No shot for free.
They're both terrific. They both have incredible numbers and credentials and stats and strikeouts and ERA and everything. Like every single category, Fried is right there with him.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Face. It's the new face. New face of what? The hell are you talking about? Like seriously. Oh, the new face of the NBA, Anthony. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, really? Guy's got 2 shots. You're the face of the NBA. Slow down. He's a good player. I've always thought the whole face of the NBA thing was comical. You want him to be the face of the NBA because you don't like it that all the other faces of the NBA aren't American.
SportsRage tonight. Only on...
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The pit suppliers, the hustlers, the people, the busters, but everybody else in between. Let's do this thing. The Twisted Tuesday has begun. SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM, Channel 159. Countdown to the cup drop continues. We're less than 24 hours away. The Stanley Cup Finals will begin. We're less than 48 hours away from the tip-off of the NBA Finals, but the news was Thibodeau fired in New York earlier in the day. We'll break it down a little bit later on. But speaking of New York, the New York Mets beat the Dodgers last night in extra innings. Dodgers came back late, tied the game. It was an interesting game last night. Went to extra innings. Dodgers looking for payback tonight. Rare rain in Los Angeles. I wasn't even sure the Dodgers had an effing tarp. Right? Just like, better get the tarp out. Do we have a tarp? Like, is there a tarp? I got to look up when's the last time a Dodger game was actually rained out. It was raining pretty hard earlier. Like about 2 hours ago, it was really coming down. I posted a video from the Dodgers dugout and the perspective from the Dodgers dugout, and it was raining hard, but it's cleared up right now. We're ready to play baseball. It's McGill versus Kershaw. This time, I promise it is Kershaw. I said last night, Kershaw. It was Dustin May. But it is Kershaw, all right? I swear I see him warming up right now. So it is Kershaw. Surprisingly enough, nobody on the Mets has really hit Kershaw before. And in fact, they're hitting like $150 against him only. As far as McGill is concerned, Dodgers haven't really seen him all that much. Like Mookie Betts is 2 for 8. Ohtani does have a home run against him. Max Muncy's got a home run against him. And Max Muncy's actually been pretty hot. He wasn't last night, but I guess he got a hit maybe or something. But, like, he's been pretty hot. Max Muncy, plus 375 to hit a home run. Sort of a gut feel pick tonight with Muncy. I actually do think that Ohtani will hit a home run tonight. The problem is Ohtani is plus 185 to hit a home run. Like, really? Plus 185 to go deep? When the fact of the matter is we can get minus 120 for him to have over 1.5 total bases. So this way, if he rips one off the wall and it's a double, I don't lose the bet. And plus 185, like, I'm really not interested. Unless you're telling me, like, he's able to use a T at plus 185, that's pretty damn low. Like, Like, what's the lowest? Like, what's Aaron? Like, is Aaron Judge ever this low? Is it ever like plus 150? No, right? Like, I'm thinking, what's the lowest like home run prop we've ever seen? Like when we were talking about the touchdown props, and it blew our mind that Ashton Genty was like minus 2,200 to score a touchdown. Like, you have to bet $2,200 to win $100 that Genty's going to score a touchdown. Those numbers won't be the same in the National Football League, let me tell you. And we'll see if Genty's the same in the National Football League, because he was minus 2,200 to score a touchdown because he was playing against Hawaii and he was playing against Colorado State and et cetera in the Mountain West. Now he's going to be in the AFC West. Big difference. But, yeah, plus 185, man. Whoa. Like, yeah, like, okay, I could live with it if it was at, like, Coors Field or something. But really, like, plus 185 against the Mets. Wow. So I just figured the math. I'd rather just get minus 120 for him to get over 1.5 total bases. We should know Mookie Betts is back tonight for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Missed the last 4 games. He missed the Yankee series and he missed last night. But Betts is back. And it's a pretty big game, actually. So the Dodgers took 2 or 3 from the Yankees. You sort of figured they were going to kind of split this. You would hope for better than a split for the Dodgers at home against the Yankees and Mets. But listen, the Dodgers beat both these teams in the playoffs last year, right? And they talked a lot of effing smack about the Yankees after. Now, a lot of the guys that talked aren't even on the damn Dodgers anymore. I don't like how much they talked after the World Series, but they did. So they won that series again. They took 2 or 3. You know, the Yankees were going to want to beat them. And they also beat the Mets. And Dave Roberts, also after the World Series, when the Dodgers were all drinking for like a week and doing podcasts and stuff, Dave Roberts talked about, San Diego was the team we were most scared about. And, like, we thought we were going to beat the Mets and the Yankees. It's like, all right, you don't think the Mets, like, see this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the Mets are fired up tonight. They're fired up to beat the Dodgers. It is what it is. The Dodgers have a target on their back. Dodgers are minus 150 tonight. I do think the Dodgers bounce back tonight. We hit the under last night, under 9.5. Everybody liked the over. I wasn't so sure. It nearly ended up going over in extra innings because it went to extra innings and both teams kept scoring. But it ended up staying out of the number when it was all said and done. I'm not really sure about tonight. I don't have a strong feel. I kind of, to be honest with you, my feeling is it goes under the number again. I think the thought process is, I think people think Kershaw is going to get lit up all the time. This is his 4th time pitching since he has come back. Total 9.5. Right? And 9.5, not a hot night tonight, we should note, in Los Angeles, right? Like, it was raining, and so it's not your typical sunny evening at Chavez Ravine this evening. We added under 9.5 last night at the last second. It was a last second, like last-minute hunch type pick. We're going to do it again. Let's go under the 9.5 here with the Dodgers and the Mets. The Dodgers to win. We'll get into the Twins and the Athletic game, because this game's going off the board as well, but let me get this bet in here. We put our money where our mouth is. Anything that we talk about, we're actually going to get in. So here we go. We're in on under 9.5 now. Dodgers, Mets. So our Dodgers, Mets bets are under 9.5, minus 110, under 9.5. Dodgers to win, minus 150. Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 total bases at minus 120. I think it's a pretty good number, actually, for Ohtani. If he hits a home run, fine. I got his home run. I got a season home run prop. You know what I mean? I won't feel terrible like leaving the plus 185 on the table. I am upset that I didn't take Bryce Harper to hit a home run tonight. Bryce Harper returned from the injured list for the Philadelphia Phillies, and it's easy for me to tell you this, but, why would I make it up? But I was like, damn, I should play Harper to hit a home run. And then, train of thought, something happened, and then the game started, and he hit a freaking home run in the first inning. I was like, son of a bitch. And and also I was like, isn't there some, like, new dude on the Blue Jays that keeps hitting home runs, this Barger dude? And then lo and behold, Barger hit a home run. He's hit a home run in 4 straight games now. 4 straight home runs for Barger. But the Blue Jays' 5-game win streak comes to an end, and the Phillies' 4-game losing streak comes to an end. I should have known better. I took the Blue Jays because they were plus 115, but the Jays don't win 6 in a row. It's a miracle they won 5 in a row. Now they'll probably lose 5 in a row. That's what the Jays do. And the Phillies have lost 4 in a row. The world's colliding, kind of, I should have known better. But we got the split because I don't bet a lot of overs, actually. I don't like, betting overs. You need a clean ride. I'm not I don't like betting overs when it comes to baseball. Basketball and football, I do, as you know. But baseball, I don't. It's not really in my blood to bet the over. But when I saw the 8.5 for the Blue Jays and Phillies tonight, I said, this game's going over the number. There's going to be a lot of runs between these two teams. And hell, the Phillies put up a 6 spot in like the first inning. And then the game barely, then they didn't score forever, and then the game sailed over the number after. Baseball can be strange like that. Speaking of totals, you got a 9.5/10, and in fact, it was 10, but have we had a pitch now in this game? Yeah, because this game starts at 05, right? So it's 9.5 now, the Twins. The Twins and the Athletics. It's 9.5, and in fact, the Twins have fallen to -170 right now, and this is one of those, do you want to get in front of type of bets? Do you really want to get in front of the Twins, and do you want to take the Athletics? All right, and the other thing, these games have been getting over. The Athletics are a terrible home team. They're getting murdered in this minor league park that they're playing in. They don't like playing there. Teams are beating them with ease when they go in there. The Athletics bullpen is a disaster, and it's a bullpen game for the A's tonight. Lay the 1.5 with the Twins. Let's roll.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start, so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Let's do this thing. It's the Twisted Tuesday. This is SportsRage. I'm Gabriel Morency, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. We got a full house tonight. Andrew McKinnis joins us. We'll talk Stanley Cup Finals, NBA Finals, Week 1 CFL. McKinnis has some hot takes as far as the CFL is concerned with his win total bets. We've got the Stanley Cup Finals in less than 24 hours, the NBA Finals in less than 48 hours, CFL kickoff in 48 hours and counting. UFL playoffs this weekend as well. So there's a lot of football going on, and that's why we got Rick Saratella in the house with us tonight. Clayton Kershaw on the hill right now as we speak. And as I stated, it's surprising. There are a lot of the New York Mets have not had a lot of success against Kershaw. Juan Soto now 1 for 10 after he just popped out. He got Lindor to pop out on 2 pitches to get the game going. Alonso is up right now. So we're scoreless. There's 2 out in the top of the first inning in Los Angeles. It was raining earlier in the day, but it's passed on right now. It's not sunny, but weather's fine. I played the Dodgers to win -150. We played the under 9.5 once again. We played Max Muncy to hit a home run at +375 and Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 total bases -120. Twins and A's over 9.5 and the Twins -1.5. So the big news of the day today, Tom Thibodeau fired by the New York Knicks. I did not personally see this coming. Somewhat of a surprise. The New York Knicks just made the conference finals for the first time in 25 years, right? I mean, this, you know, the only, it's like very few franchises would do something like this. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised, even though when I saw it, I was like, whoa. But I shouldn't be surprised because James Dolan is a pretty erratic dude who is very impatient. Now, there's a lot of debate. Was it Leon Rose? Was it the general manager? Leon Rose, the president, general manager, whatever, he was Tom Thibodeau's agent before. All right? I have a hard time believing that he will, he saw that, Thibodeau was the reason why we didn't make it to the NBA Finals. But if I'm the New York Knicks, I would actually be pretty happy with the year that we had. The fact that you made it to the conference finals, you're a credible franchise once again. Players, and I don't know how this will work out, but players didn't want to play for you for a long time, right? There's the quote of Kevin Durant saying, the Knicks brand, Knicks fans think that everybody wants to play for the Knicks, but he goes, all the players in the league grew up watching them suck. And he goes, the Knicks aren't this cool team to play for that people think they are. That was Kevin Durant in 2017. Now there's rumors that Kevin Durant's going to be on the Knicks, right? But Kevin Durant's like that. If you're good suddenly, Kevin Durant's like the type of dude that if you were a girl, he'd hook up with you if you won the lottery. But if you didn't before, he'd like you if you were rich. You know what I mean? Kevin Durant's like the big, I people criticize for the Golden State stuff. I don't. But the whole after the fact, he only just wants to join these good teams. It's make the team good yourself, bro. You're supposed to be this legend and this icon. But, whatever, guys. Malone got fired in Denver. My bet is, and this is all my own personal hunch, I have zero insight and knowledge of anything that goes on in Madison Square Garden. But my guess is that James Dolan didn't like losing all those home games all the time. He's sitting courtside. They're losing at home. They went 3-5, 4-6, whatever the hell it was at home in the playoffs. They weren't very good at MSG. And I think that bothered the owner. And I also think that the owner thinks that, you know what, we kind of went as far as we can with this dude. He's kind of stuck in his ways. We need to open things up a little bit. That's my own personal take. And it's probably going to be Malone, I imagine, from Denver. That's the new coach there. Jay Wright. Interesting name to talk about. Jay Wright, of course, because, half the freaking Knicks players are Villanova players, right? So Jay Wright makes sense. 1-0 for the Mets. They do get to Kershaw early here. 1-0 for the Mets right now. All right, we're bringing Cam Stewart in. And Andrew McKinnis in the house with us. What's going on, McKinnis? How you doing tonight?
In a great mood. Gabe, getting ready for the CFL season. I was long awaiting for the NHL Stanley Cup Finals to begin, and despite the heavy phase, I'm also looking forward to the NBA Finals. So I saw your tweet earlier today. It's a good day today. It's kind of the calm before the storm right now.
Yeah, once tomorrow hits, we have the Cup. Although I will say, the NBA, if you look at the NBA schedule, guys, it's whack. They play on Thursday, then Sunday, then Wednesday. It's really, really, really drawn out. And the NHL is more drawn out as normal too, Cam, because Florida and Edmonton is so far that You can't make them do the 48-hour stuff. Like, it's freaking ridiculous how far it is. It's the longest trip in Stanley Cup Finals history, and they got to repeat it. And get this, guys, it's so far that the Florida Panthers need to stop and refuel. They can't fly direct from Miami, Sunrise, whatever. They can't fly direct, even with all their money, to their plane can't carry that much fuel. So, like, they got to stop and refuel in, like, North Dakota or something, and then they finish off the trip. But what's interesting about this is the Edmonton Oilers, McInnes, they don't have to refuel when they fly from Edmonton to Florida because of the headwinds.
Yeah.
The winds blow the plane so they don't eat as much fuel. Florida's flying into the wind, cost them more fuel. Just a little interesting tidbit there, McInnes, about the Stanley Cup.
That's a great tidbit.
I love it.
Yeah.
And in a modern era. Yeah, no, the Panther players, the first time last year, Cam, they freaked out. They thought like they were crashing. Like the pilot came on and goes, listen, we're landing in Kansas. We're going to land in Kansas. And they're all like, was something wrong? What's going on? And they had to explain to them, no, listen, it's so far. We got to refuel. Like, we don't have enough fuel to get there. We got to refuel.
That's great.
So
yeah,
they
because
sit on the
when you go north
tarmac.
to south, you get the good winds there. So that's perfect. Good for the Oilers. They don't have to stop. I like that.
It's a little bit of an advantage. And I think the home ice advantage makes a difference this year, too, personally.
It does.
I'm looking for any edge I can as an Oiler better.
Wins. He wins.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalpost got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Face. It's the new face. New face of what? The hell are you talking about? Like seriously. Oh, the new face of the NBA, Anthony. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, really? Guy's got 2 shots. You're the face of the NBA. Slow down. He's a good player. I've always thought the whole face of the NBA thing was comical. You want him to be the face of the NBA because you don't like it that all the other faces in the NBA aren't American.
SportsRage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
And if you go through Cat, that means Cat at 11-1 could be Eastern Conference Finals MVP. The worst team in the WNBA is the Chicago Sky. They have no perimeter play. They're playing too many minutes. And Angel Reese doesn't have the help she needs.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
It's a Twisted Tuesday. This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. Mets get to Kershaw in the first inning. Good call by Joe Madden last night, as she brought up, and she is correct. We'll get the numbers up, too, but so we'll have the statistical, the exact numbers, but there's always runs in the first inning of Dodger games. Dodger pitchers often, a lot of their pitchers do get, like, hit early and then sort of settle down. They give up the quick run or two. We saw it last night with May. We just saw it with Kershaw. Even though Kershaw looked good for the most part, but they still scored a run. And quite frankly, especially here with the Mets and Dodgers, you look at the top 6 hitters that you're seeing, it's hard to get through them without one of them actually hitting a home run or somebody scoring. But Ohtani just struck out. Mookie Betts is back right now. Looks like Mookie Betts is, Mookie Betts singles with his first at-bat back. Something to take note of. Bryce Harper was out for a couple of weeks. Bryce Harper came back, hit a home run on the first pitch he saw tonight in his first at-bat. And he went deep tonight. So we'll keep her on these baseball games. Countdown to the Stanley Cup is on. We're just talking about the long trip that these teams have to take. It's pretty excruciatingly long, flying back and forth. Our boy Degenerate Dean in the chat says that the real battle for the Panthers isn't the flight, but actually spending a couple of days in Edmonton. So early cheap shot at the city of Edmonton here. But
you know what,
I'll
Gabe,
disagree. It's actually the opposite. I was going to say, it's actually the opposite. You're better off in towns that there's nothing to do. And you're not going to go out, especially in Edmonton, because people actually know who you are and they'll hate you. So you know what I mean? You're better off not, doing anything. Hell, Serge Ibaka brought it up. They said, Serge, you really improved your free throw shooting. He goes, because I live in Oklahoma City. He goes, I got nothing to do. He goes, I built a basketball court in my house. And, people in Oklahoma City didn't like it, like he basically said. But he actually went on. He goes, no, I love it here. But he goes, listen, there's one nightclub. And he goes, everybody knows who we are, so I'm not going to that nightclub. He goes, I can't go to a movie theater because I'm the only 7-foot black man in the theater, right? So he goes, I can't go to the movie theater. He goes, they know who I am. And they love the Thunder there, right? So he goes, it's cool here. But he talked about how it made them a better team. And he goes, if you play in some of these cities, players have a lot of other stuff going on in their lives, right? I saw personally in Toronto with the Raptor players. They're out all the time doing this and doing that. You got nothing to do in Oklahoma City. You got nothing to do in Edmonton. Think about it, McKinnis. Yeah. What the hell is Connor McDavid going to do in Edmonton? The guy can't leave. He can't go anywhere. No. You saw last year. Remember the video, Cam? He had beer after they won the conference finals.
Yeah.
They're in the parking lot of a liquor store, and there's 8 people touching him like he's Jesus. Remember they were Connor, and they were rubbing his arm. He's like, come on, man. Don't touch me, man. He's like, I'm nice to you, but come on, don't touch me.
Here, relax.
They're Connor.
How was he the guy getting the beer, though? That's what I don't really understand. But I'll
that's
say,
the weirdest thing ever, right? Connor McDavid tells everyone, I'll go to the liquor store and pick up the beer, guys.
Yeah.
So no, we're going to send the trainer or the towel boy to go get the beer. What do we know, Connor? You're not going to the store.
Everybody, it's Connor McDavid. I'm free at a liquor store. That's what
Connor was with his girlfriend. He was all freaked out, too. People were taking pictures of him, and he was just scared. He was looking around. He's probably thinking, I'm never coming out ever again.
Why would you?
I can respect it, though. He doesn't even want the attention. I can respect that with him. He's the kind of guy that doesn't really want the attention. But one thing I'll say, I saw a tweet going around today, and I'm sure you guys might have seen this. It was Matthew Tkachuk talking about his first time being in Florida when he first arrived there. He was out at a store somewhere, and they're like, what do you do for a living? Maybe it was an Uber or something. And the guy said, oh, you're a hockey player and you got traded to Florida. You must not be very good then. Never heard of you or something. And he was talking a bunch about how, what it's like living in Florida. And the flood of comments and the reply on X, everybody was saying, oh, yeah, you're just scared of a big market. You don't want to go to a big market. All these guys love playing in Florida. And you know what? I'm going to show my fandom, but I agree with that. I'm sick and tired of these guys talking about, I don't want to get recognized. It's so nice living in Tampa. It's so nice living in Sunrise. You know what? You grew up your whole life idolizing players, your whole childhood wanting to be an NHL superstar. Now your dream is to have nobody know who you are and go to a golf course and hide away and get no state tax and just pick up checks. What kind of athlete life is that? I mean, these guys want to fulfill their childhood dreams of being NHL superstars, and you're going to hide away. Nobody cares you're winning cups with your 18 people at your parade. You want to win a cup, win it for a big city.
They can't. Dropping bombs.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you can't really, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. This, I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Face is the new face. New face of what? The hell are you talking about? Like seriously. Oh, the new face of the NBA, Anthony. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, really? Guy's got 2 shots. You're face of the NBA. Slow down. He's a good player. I've always thought the whole face of the NBA thing was comical. You want him to be the face of the NBA because you don't like it that all the other faces of the NBA aren't American.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
And if they go through Cat, that means Cat at 11-1 could be Eastern Conference Finals MVP. The worst team in the WNBA is the Chicago Sky. They have no perimeter play. They're playing too many minutes. And Angel Reese doesn't have the help she needs.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. All right, so countdown to the cup. Interesting tidbit that McKinnis talked about Kachuk saying that a fan told he must not be very good if you play for the Panthers. I remember Ronnie Cycli, old school Syracuse, but Ronnie Cycli got drafted by the Miami Heat, and the Heat were like an expansion team in the NBA. And he said that the Miami Heat were on a plane, same thing, that he was on a plane, and the lady next to him, he said the Heat were like cheap. They used to fly like on commercial in those days. So he said there was a lady next to him on the plane. And she said, "Are you guys a basketball team? You're all pretty tall." And he goes, yeah, we're the Miami Heat. She goes, "You guys aren't in the NBA, are you?" He's like, yeah. He's like, "Yeah, we are." He goes, "Yeah, we're an NBA team." She goes, "Really? I've never heard of you before."
Miami Heat, never heard of you.
Cycli told a story. It was like playing for the Heat. Right? He's like, yeah, people like, Florida's a horrible sports town. Miami, it just is. There were 22 people at the Marlins game tonight. But there was another story, McKinnis. It was actually a guy in the Canadians. I wish I remember his name, but he got traded from the Canadians to the Panthers, and he was super depressed. Like, so he got into the Florida dressing room, and they all knew he was sad to get traded there. And they pulled him aside, and they told him, "Listen, there's no pressure here. There's no taxes. You can play golf all the time." And this is the best line, McKinnis. He goes, "And we never make the playoffs, so you'll extend a couple of years to your career."
That's great.
And he goes, "And you'll make more money." And he started pointing out other guys on the team. He goes, "This guy's played 12 years. This guy this many years." He goes, "We never make the playoffs, right?" So, because playoff games actually add up to like the body toll, right? The body count. That's what's so impressive about the Panthers run right now. But, all right, so they're Dodgers take a 2-1 lead right now. Maybe my under 9.5 is not so good. In-game total is 11.5 right now, just for the record. But the money has come in on Edmonton. The series opened up as a stone cold pick'em at minus 110 on both sides. Now the Oilers are minus 130 favorites. What's Andrew McKinnis' Stanley Cup prediction? Who do you think wins the Cup, and in how many games, McKinnis?
I think the Oilers win the Cup, and I think they get the job done in 6. I said it to you guys last week. I am a believer in the fact that they get to play the exact same team that beat them. And not just because it's some storyline and a really good story for us to talk about. It's more so the fact that they know what to expect. There's no shock coming into this series. They know what the Florida Panthers are about. They know what the game is that they bring, and they know how to defeat them, how to respond. And I think that they found that drive too late in the series. You know, you win 3 straight games last year in the Cup Finals. Hard to win 4. You know, you go to the Game 7, you lose that one 2-1. The big difference this year is that the Oilers didn't make too many changes to their systems or to their players, but they made just enough. And right now, they've got the depth scoring. They've got Connor and Leon, the top 2 players scoring-wise in the postseason. Stuart Skinner, even if he is average, they need him to be average at best. And I think they have this series secured. Right now, the defensemen are doing a good job at staying at home and picking their spots. Only 1 or 2 guys are jumping into the rush for the Oilers to contribute offensively. But any given night that you have somebody on that third or even like a guy on the second line, like Evander Kane, putting one in the net, it takes some stress off Connor and Leon. I'm sorry, but Kachuk's great. Verhaeghe's great. Some of these guys, but there's no single player that brings what McDavid and Draisaitl does. So if you get a little bit of supporting cast help on this Oilers team, and they've got guys like Adam Henrique scoring goals, you know, Podkolzin scoring goals. If you get a couple random goals here and there in this
14
Oilers team,
guys, McInnes, in the last series. 14 guys in the last series. That's how deep they are. Although we should note 18 Panthers scored against the Leafs. Like that's the thing with the Panthers; they're super deep. But so are the Oilers. I get it, and I just want to get people up to date. And I got to pat myself on the back. This was a sweet call for people that tuned in earlier. I said Max Muncy's going to hit a home run tonight. Call it the Morency gut feel. Max, and I knew that Max Muncy had success against McGill in the past. Boom. Max Muncy hits a 2-run home run in the first inning. So we already cashed a nice plus 375 with Max Muncy home run. And you know what's nice? It's the only home run prop I played today, too. So I didn't play 18 of them, 6 of them. Played 1. Max Muncy, plus 375, baby. Wow. All right, but it's 4-1 right now. We should know. That total is getting blown up. What's the new in-game total?
I need some runs in that Twins game. That's what I need, some runs in that Twins game right now. I got over
me too.
5.5
Buy the Twins.
innings. Yeah, geez. But I wanted to say, guys, even though the Hurricanes got kind of destroyed as far as the 4-1 gentleman's sweep, I'm going to give the Hurricanes a bit more credit. I'm going to give Bobrovsky a bit more credit because there were some games, like even look at that game that they got eliminated, the Hurricanes. I think we can agree that the Hurricanes played a respectable game in that one. Like that was one of their better games of the series in the Florida Panthers.
The last 2 games, they were the better team. The problem is they have mental breakdowns, and then Florida scores 3 goals when you're mentally broke. That's what they do. They pounce on you. They are like a real panther in life. Like they wound you, then they kill you. That's the thing. You can't take shifts off against these guys. And Edmonton needs to know that. If you're up 2-0, you don't have a shift where you're going out to, hey, man, we feel good. Because Carolina was playing great. They were dominating. Bob was standing on his head. And then the minute they score a goal, Carolina folds like a cheap suit, Gabe. We talked about it. Like Carolina actually took it to them. Like they were out skating them. They were shooting the puck. Bobrovsky's diving all over them. That's what Florida does, though. And that's what good teams do. They just
Edmonton's got more raw skill, though, Cam.
Yes,
like if they give Edmonton the same chances they gave Carolina in some of those games, 3, 4, 5 goals. They have more raw skill. There's no doubt about it. No offense to Carolina, but it just is what it is. If you give Edmonton a couple 2-on-1s per game, they're probably scoring 2 of those.
Yep.
Well, the Florida Panthers are up against. The Florida Panthers don't have Connor McDavid or Draisaitl, right? Who's the 2 best players on the ice all the time. But what makes the Panthers good is they have Sam Bennett and Reinhart to always defend. Like they can always have like a top defender on the ice for the most part if they want to, right? You know what I mean? So that's a big difference for the Panthers. What makes them so tough to deal with? Draisaitl, I said it last night, McKinnon. Draisaitl's the key for me. I like what I saw from practice, from what I was watching from him. Overall, the Oilers just look super intense already. And I completely agree with you as far as, it's bad news. All right, the Panthers are a great team. But you also, you know what you're getting with them. You've already played them. And the way I look at it is like, listen, we won the 3 games and we nearly came back on them here. We think we're the better team. And to me, home ice, which I don't really get too carried away with at times, I think it's a massive freaking difference when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers. And not because of the crowd or anything like that, or because of the music in the arena, but because of the
last change,
the line change stuff. they can get McDavid and or Draisaitl on whenever they want, right? And it's such a massive advantage that Florida has when they have that home ice against you, when they have the last line change where they can just roll out like these great centers, and then Marchand as well. It's like now at least you can mess with them with the last call 4 out of the 7 times. And I tell you, McKinnis, Edmonton aren't losing the first 2 games this time, right? Like they're not going to be down 0-3 this time. Game 1 is like critical for the Oilers to just sort of get the party started. Don't make your life harder. Don't cause any drama. It'll be a long, 48 hours in Edmonton. If you lose the first game, win the game, get the ball rolling, and get the confidence going.
Well, you know what the biggest key is going to be is game 3. And I know that sounds kind of funny. We haven't even played game 1 or 2 yet. But if the Edmonton Oilers can start off in enemy territory with a good first period or find their scoring touch on the road, you just talked about it, both you guys, about how great it is when Florida gets the last change. They're 8-2 on the road, the Florida Panthers, this year in the postseason. So the fact is, the Oilers have to protect home ice, got to play well in oil country. But if they leave with the split even 1-1, and in game 3 they go on the road and get the win, that's when they'll make the Panthers nervous. Who knows? Hopefully the Oilers go up 2-0. But if they get the split, if they win tomorrow night and they lose the next one, they got to win game 3 in Florida. Put some worry into their minds.
I can't help but think that Florida's gaudy road record is helped by the Toronto Maple Leafs' pathetic home record.
Hey!
Look at those, you know what I mean? Like the Leafs losing at home all the time.
Always Leafs.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to be this. I'll say this. This is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8 seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Face. It's the new face. New face of what? The hell are you talking about? Like seriously. Oh, the new face of the NBA, Anthony. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, really? Guy's got 2 shots. The face of the NBA. Slow down. He's a good player. I've always thought the whole face of the NBA thing was comical. You want him to be the face of the NBA because you don't like it that all the other faces of the NBA aren't American.
SportsRage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
And if they go through Cat, that means Cat at 11-1 could be Eastern Conference Finals MVP. The worst team in the WNBA is the Chicago Sky. They have no perimeter play. They're playing too many minutes. And Angel Reese doesn't have the help she needs.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we got to go to the CFL, the NBA, but let's just wrap up the Stanley Cup Finals here with McKinnis. So the Panthers to sweep is 11-1. The Panthers to win in 5 games is plus 700. The Panthers to win in 6 games is plus 450. Panthers to win in 7 games is plus 500. Oilers sweep plus 900. Oilers in 5 plus 500. Oilers in 6 plus 500. Oilers in 7 plus 425. Part of me looks at this and says, you know what, Oilers in 6 at plus 500 and Oilers in 7 at plus 425. Yeah, both bets. not bad to have in your back pocket. I don't want to get too carried away here, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Oilers won in 5, to be honest.
Wow.
I think the Oilers are on a mission. Well, they just beat Dallas in 5. They beat Vegas in 5. Like, you know what I mean?
You could maybe
the
pick
Kings
5
is
and
6
6
after
instead of 6 and 7, right? That's
yeah,
the
thing is,
I like 6. I like 6.
Dallas had 3 5-on-5 goals until the last game that they got sent packing. I mean, Florida can score 5-on-5, but
I said it last night. Yeah, but still, 5-on-5, they're not great. You know, even against the Leafs, the power plays were the difference. But dude, if Edmonton doesn't take like 3 penalties in 5 minutes, they sweep that series.
Yes.
They were winning 2-0 in that. You know what I mean? Like, they dominated. Bro, I saw they led for 86 minutes. Like, they never even trailed. Like, the only time they trailed was like that little 10-minute window. Like, the last 5 minutes of the period, second period, carried over into the third period of the game that they lost. But, man, they're on a run. 12-2 in their last 14 games. All right, let's get the Conn Smythe prediction here. I told people, like, last week, I said, man, Connor McDavid is plus 160. That's pretty crazy. Not anymore. It's minus 105. Bobrovsky's plus 250. Barkov is plus 550. Draisaitl is 8-1. Kachuk is 20-1. Sam Bennett, 28. Skinner, 33. No love for Skinner. He opened up at like 22-1. He's 33 right now. Verhaeghe, 50-1. Brad Marchand, 60-1. Nugent Hopkins, 75. Reinhardt, 75. Evan Bouchard, 100-1. What's your prediction, McKinnis? Is it Connor McDavid or bust, or are you going to play somebody else here?
Yeah, I think it's Connor McDavid is only going to win the Conn Smythe this year if the Oilers win it. You know, guys, sometimes things are stats-based, but sometimes there's just something that the league wouldn't want to do. And I don't think the league would want to give it to McDavid back-to-back years when his team loses.
He's not winning if they lose. No.
Yeah.
Even though he will have double-digit more points than anybody on the Panthers, right?
You've got up a great point, though, but that ship is like, imagine getting that at plus 160 in your back pocket, and now you're laying 30 cents in the series, and the odds of McDavid, if they win, is almost 90% to get it, unless Draisaitl goes nuts, and he's a good price at 8-1, right? Like, who else are you going to take on this team? So that's the whole thing. You were very smart to get into that marketplace earlier, but because now just bet Edmonton.
The Conn Smythe really isn't the finals MVP. It's the playoff MVP, too. It's the big body of work. And McDavid, you know, I agree with you, though, Kim. I think that if there's a player here, what do you think, McKinnis? Draisaitl's the one. Like, you know what I mean? Let's say Draisaitl has 9 goals in the series, or a hat trick, or a hat trick game and a 2-goal game, and they win. Then I think Draisaitl could be the guy plus 800, but it's going to be Connor McDavid, right? And McDavid has the big points lead to begin with. Lottery picks.
Who used to drink a lot, showing up big, Corey Perry.
Lottery picks don't win MVPs.
Corey Perry.
I know they do. I'm just saying, Corey Perry's been pretty damn good. Like, this guy scored games like the guy's on fire. Like, he's wicked. Like, Corey Perry's playing.
I'll tell you what. The fact that we could get plus 110 on the guy to get a point, I'll keep it safe with that. The fact that they're giving us
Corey Perry
plus 100. If you're going to give me a plus sign before that guy's name to get a point, because he's replacing Zach Hyman, top line right winger, I wouldn't talk anybody off that. I took him in the last game against Dallas with Zach Hyman being out, and he scored a goal in the first period. And I didn't even care. I was like, you know what? I didn't take him to score a goal. I got him to get a point, plus 110. But, you know, I think the ship has sailed on Draisaitl. I don't want to be negative, but I think that he would have had to have done more against Dallas. And the funny thing is, he didn't really have enough games to do so. And they won some of those in low-scoring fashion, too. The way I look at it is this. If you like Florida and you don't like their current price in the series, you take Barkov. If you like Edmonton and you don't like their current price in the series, go ahead and sprinkle on McDavid. It's still better than the series price. I don't think anybody besides those two guys.
Gabe and I, we all know this. It's McDavid or Draisaitl, like whatever. With Florida, I can really name different guys. Bennett, Verhaeghe, of Barkov. Like other guy, Bobrovsky. Makes total sense if they win because he's going to have to stand on his head. Correct?
Bobrovsky would be the favorite. Yes, for Florida, yes. But that's why he's the second choice after McDavid.
I've been pretty adamant that I don't think a goalie's winning it this year. And one of the biggest reasons why is I thought that the Oilers, if they go to the Stanley Cup Finals, let's be honest, guys, I think the average score in this game, in this series, will probably be cumulatively 6 goals per game. And if like I said, if Florida gives the same number of chances to Edmonton as they did to Carolina, Edmonton's going to have several games where they score at least 3 goals. You know, Game 7 last year was 2-1, but some of the games, guys, that the Edmonton Oilers won en route to tying up the series 3-3, they're putting up 4, 5, 6 goals. So Bob would have to get 2 shutouts to me to win it. And I think the only way Verhaeghe or Reinhart or those guys would win it is if Barkov all of a sudden breaks his leg and he stops playing in the series. If Barkov's not out there, those guys can. I think that Verhaeghe would have to get a hat trick in order to win it. You know, I'm not trying to be negative because I wish that there were possibilities, but I don't think it's like the NFL where we can just take like, you know, a defensive player to win, you know, the big game MVP. It's just not like that anymore. I think it's too late.
No, that's the one. You're right. That's why I said these in the NHL lottery dudes don't win the MVP or the Conn Smythe. The Super Bowl, hey, every 5-6 years or whatnot, like you said, right? Some DB's got a pick 6 in a tie game, and it's a low-scoring game. Linebacker has a couple of sacks in a low-score, ugly game. Like what Von Miller won the MVP, right? But what was it? It was like that Denver-Carolina game. There was like 19 points scored or whatever the hell it was. A brutal game. Here's a Connor McDavid prop, interesting one. Connor McDavid to have combined 10 goals plus assists in the series. So basically, 10 points. Will he have 10 points in the series? He had 3 goals and 8 assists in last year's finals.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you can't really, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalpost got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Face. It's the new face. New face of what? The hell are you talking about? Like seriously. Oh, the new face of the NBA, Anthony. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, really? Guy's got 2 shots. You're the face of the NBA. Slow down. He's a good player. I've always thought the whole face of the NBA thing was comical. You want him to be the face of the NBA because you don't like it that all the other faces in the NBA aren't American.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
And if you go through Cat, that means Cat at 11-1 could be Eastern Conference Finals MVP. The worst team in the WNBA is the Chicago Sky. They have no perimeter play. They're playing too many minutes. And Angel Reese doesn't have the help she needs.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. Now our boy Pat Foster's jumping in this MVP talk stuff. Always listen, man, I don't like to get carried away with it. I saw people like still comparing the stats with SGA, this and that. It's a popularity contest in the NBA. Let's call it out for what it is, right? It's sort of like now, and I don't like to take anything away because the old NFL players, it's impressive when you're like, oh, 12-time Pro Bowler. Now, guys, the Pro Bowler's like the 6th option, and they don't even freaking go. Right? And so it doesn't carry the same punch anyways. I've always said the only people that care about the MVP awards are the players the agent on the player and the and anyone that actually bet on it. Other than that, nobody cares and nobody remembers about MVP stuff. It's just good when you're negotiating a contract. All right, so let's get into the CFL. We got about 5.5 minutes with McKinnis, and we got 4 games. You can throw your season win total bets in for a team here if you want. We already know you're anti-Ottawa, so I'm assuming you're on the Rough Riders. It was 3.5. Now it's 3. That's on Thursday night. First game up, 49.5. The Argos get 4 in Montreal on Friday, 47.5. Hamilton are now 2-point road favorites in Calgary, 52.5. And the Edmonton Elks are 5.5-point road dogs in Vancouver against the BC Lions, 48.5. What do you like in week 1, McKinnis?
Yeah, lots to like, Gabe. Lots to like. And look, I'm not a hater of the Red Blacks. I'm a hater of their defense. They make it to the semifinals last year in the postseason, give up 58 points. That's how I feel about the Red Blacks. They're the Cincinnati Bengals of the CFL. They could score 40. They're going to give up 43. Doesn't matter what they do. Give me the first half number on Saskatchewan. I got the early number when it was 2.5, but that's not widely available anymore for the full game. So we're going to take the first half. I think they're going to play really well at home. What I like about the Saskatchewan team this year, though, is the continuity. In the CFL, in weeks 1 through 3, I want teams that haven't made too many changes, just the appropriate changes. They address the offensive line. They got a few new pass rushers. They're going to be exactly what they have to be. They didn't really change a whole lot, but I like this roster, how it's built. The guys are healthy. AJ Ouellette's in the best shape of his career, it seems like. He'll have a really good game on the ground, slow things down, control possession. The home field should help Saskatchewan, despite it being only the first game of the year. So I do like Saskatchewan in the first half, minus the 2.5 points. Leaning towards the over in Toronto and Montreal right now. I think we see points in that game. I think you look at the situation in the quarterback room for Toronto. When no Chad Kelly's out there, I don't care how Arbuckle looked last year. Everybody wants to look good. Both these teams, not just one, just cut their running back. Their starting running backs just got cut. I was a big Walter Fletcher guy, and then he gets cut from the team. Running backs are constantly getting tossed around in this league. It's always next man up. These guys want to prove themselves. And the funny thing is, one of these teams last year was top of the league in running defense and near the bottom in passing, and vice versa for the other. I think as far as the Montreal Alouettes, you throw the ball against them and you don't run it. For Toronto, you run the ball against them and you don't throw it. I like the over in that game, guys. And in Hamilton, Calgary, big on the Hamilton Tiger Cats in that game. This is a Hamilton team that is very similar to kind of the trash talking I was giving Ottawa there. Is their offense is going to put up points. You just can't trust their defense. But the thing is, the three-headed monster with Bridges, with White, and now with Kenny Lawler is going to be too much offensively for Calgary to handle. Everyone's excited about big play VA. At the end of the day, a quarterback can't save Calgary right now. Their win total's at 6.5. I would take the under for Calgary at plus 115. This, to me, is going to be an offensive line that's not going to be able to hold strong. VA is running for his life, and I just don't trust their defense. They might get better, especially ATS, throughout the season, but this is a Hamilton team I really trust to get the job done because they're going to be able to put so many points up on the board. Throughout the year, they might get burnt because of that defense, but Bo Levi actually had a great season, 5,400 yards in the air. In the last game, guys, might be kind of a chalky one here. More of a popular one. Give me the over. Elks and Lions. Nate Rourke looked sharp in the preseason. He was injured and came away halfway through the year last year. This is a guy I think is going to be sharp. They got so many weapons over there in BC, and Edmonton's offense is going to be better. They got some new weapons. They got some new guys like Curly Gittens Jr., who I really like, and I think they're going to put points on the board. And I'll give you a 2-team parlay here. Plus 118 is the number. Saskatchewan money line, BC money line. I don't see either of those two teams losing, especially the BC Lions.
Andrew McKinnis throwing it down with us. All right, McKinnis, we got about 20 seconds here. NBA Finals, how many games does it go? What's your prediction?
I think the OKC Thunder get it done in 5 games, and I'm going to take them in game 1. I might even look at some alternate numbers. These teams, favorites of this much, at home, game 1, sign me up for the Thunder.
Andrew McKinnis, great stuff, Andrew.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you can't really, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last two NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to be this. I'll say this. This is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8 seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Face. It's the new face. New face of what? The hell are you talking about? Like seriously. Oh, the new face of the NBA, Anthony. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, really? Guy's got 2 shots. You're the face of the NBA. Slow down. He's a good player. I've always thought the whole face of the NBA thing was comical. You want him to be the face of the NBA because you don't like it that all the other faces of the NBA aren't American.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
And if you go through Cat, that means Cat at 11-1 could be Eastern Conference Finals MVP. The worst team in the WNBA is the Chicago Sky. They have no perimeter play. They're playing too many minutes. And Angel Reese doesn't have the help she needs.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Level 2, this is Sports Rage. I am Gabriel Morency on the SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM, Channel 159. The quickest 120 minutes in sports talk and television continues. Let's do this thing. Let's bring in allaccessfootball.com's the founder of the NFL Draft Bible, Rick Saratella, in the house. Let's do this thing. And as always, there's a lot of stuff to break down. Rick, how you doing, my man?
Oh, baby, let's level up. I see that BC Lions shirt on you, Gabe. Let's buckle up.
Yeah, we're ready to rock and roll. Snoop Dogg and the BC Lions and the Edmonton Elks on Saturday in Vancouver. CFL Week 1, UFL playoffs. But let's start off with some NFL news and pretty big-time news coming out of Detroit as 4-time Pro Bowler Frank Ragnow has retired from the Detroit Lions at 29 years old, Rick. And there's a saying in sports and basically in whatever career you are doing that if you're undecided whether you want to do it, you've kind of already made up your mind that you shouldn't be doing it anymore. And I think that's case in point in the National Football League, right? If you're not 100% in and you're uncertain, that means you really don't want to be playing anymore.
That's right. When you start thinking about retirement, you're actually retired. And so, good for Frank Ragnow, 29 years old, able to depart on his own terms. I saw him cite health. I saw him cite family. But now, listen, this man gave up millions of dollars because he was not just a Pro Bowl. He was all pro the last 3 consecutive seasons.
One of the best centers ever to play. Let's be honest. He literally is one of the best centers in modern history. You know what I mean? I got 4-time Pro Bowl in a 7-year career.
Yeah, he's probably one of the best, if not the best center we've seen since Jason Kelsey. And you talk about the timing, like, whoa. I know David Andrews recently retired, but there's not just like established centers hanging out on the street. So, you talk about defections, the coordinators, now your center, who's also like a coach on the field. I'm a little bit worried about these Detroit Lions winning the conference again.
They're really up against it. Like, it really is just systematically one by one things seemingly, these are not easy positions to replace. Ben Johnson was such a big part of that offense, and not everybody has a Cam Jurgens, right? Like the Philadelphia Eagles do. So you're the draft guru. There's a lot of pressure right now, Rick, because it sounds like the plan in Detroit is to put Tate Rattledge, their draft pick out of Georgia, into the center position. How do you feel about this?
Well, I did go and look at the Lions roster. They do have a unproven, rookie first-year center who doesn't have any NFL game experience. So, in the short term, they don't have any other options except to slide the rookie out of Georgia over to center, something he never did in college, but he's going to get a shot at it in the NFL. And that's what we do in the big leagues. We adapt and adjust. Right, and one door closes, another door of opportunity arises, and now Rattledge has a chance to crack the starting lineup, which was, let's be honest, one of the best offensive line in all of the league.
They also drafted Miles Frazier, big SEC player out of LSU, big, long, rangy type of dude. Is he in the mix as well? How good is he?
Yeah, I like a Miles Frazier. Again, how comfortable is he snapping the ball? We don't know answers to that. I think it's something that's going to have to be a trial by fire. I would imagine that a center is going to be brought in during training camp, and they're going to have to monitor the waiver wire as well.
All right, so one of the rookies that was very polarizing, and, it's gotten nastier and crazier, in the modern era with social media, et cetera. There's nothing social about it, but with the criticism of players. And McMillan, Tet McMillan out of Arizona was case in point of it, right? There was a lot of negative comments from the unknown, unnamed general manager, an unnamed scout says this and says that. They question his route running. They question, the video from, was from a couple of years ago when he said he doesn't really like football. He just plays football, but he doesn't watch football. That, he wasn't the most sociable guy with his teammates in Arizona. They really piled on pretty big on him. But the Panthers liked him. The Panthers ended up getting him, and they're loving what they're seeing from him so far. And I know you and I always talk, and you're the first one to say, listen, T-shirt and short stuff doesn't matter. But it's a little bit different with a wide receiver than a quarterback. Because I'm seeing this stuff, and he's beating a lot of those DBs in camp right now pretty easily, bro.
Yeah, which he should be doing. And, listen, I tend to be in the agreement that he's not a great route runner, and he does have questionable speed. And he did say on camera that he doesn't even really love football. So all those things do exist. They weren't just pulled out of thin air. That being said, he's a dynamic talent. I don't love the Carolina. A, I don't love the quarterback. B, I don't love the head coach. I think Carolina will be lucky to win 2 games. But who else are they going to throw the ball to?
2 games. 2 games. Hey, listen, last year I had a lot of people, smart people that were betting the Panthers over 5.5 wins. And I said, you guys are crazy. What am I missing here? You guys and I said the same thing. I said, this team's going to win 3-4 games. They're not winning 6 games. But I liked what I saw from them, Rick, down the stretch. And I bought into Bryce Young. I personally think this is a 6 or 7 win football team right now. I'm not saying 8 or 9, but I'm going to go as far as saying 6 or 7.
I'll take the under, whatever it is. I'm not going to go there. Listen, I think they had a good late season rally, and it looked good just because they were so poor. I mean, this team was down in the dumps.
That's fair. That's fair.
But listen, I don't.
You're right. He didn't throw a touchdown pass for 18 weeks or something. You're right. So we saw some production on the way out. I get what you're going. But but all kidding aside, he did look better. I think he showed that he can play in this league.
No, I think Bryce Young played just good enough to get another 1-year audition. However, I still don't see it where I'm like, wow, I didn't see that wow game. And usually you see that within the first year or two. We'll see. I could be wrong. I didn't like the way David Canales handled things. I thought his inexperience showed up a lot in big spots. He got out coached in just about every single ball game. So we'll see how it pans out. I think, Carolina and New Orleans, they're in the same division, and they're both terrible. I mean, these are probably the 2 worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah, and I know that Shuck is going to get a chance this year, but, New Orleans has Arch Manning written all over it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how Arch Manning plays out, but I'm just stating that Manning name, guys. I mean, it's his biggest name in the state. Let's just be real.
I get a lot of heat online, too. Like, oh, Arch Manning isn't coming out. It's like, dude, if the Saints have the number 1 pick, I think he might. Now, if it's not Arch Manning, I do know, Nussmeier is, I think, the OC there. in New Orleans, right? So that's
and then LSU, right? Too, of course, the quarterback. So for the record, Rick, Carolina's win total, the odds makers are a lot higher on them than you are. It's 6.5. If it was 5.5, I'd be more interested. I don't want to run to the window and put my money down saying they're going to win 7 games, right? Well, but that's what it is, Rick. It's 6.5, and it's actually minus 130 to the over. So odds makers think this is, like I said, a 6 or 7 win football team.
Well, I'm broadcasting here from the Jersey Shore, and I'm going to give you my bold prediction of the week. I like Rutgers to win more ball games than the Carolina Panthers this year, so buckle up.
And Rutgers is 5.5. So no, you got me sold on RU. You got me sold. I cashed with the Scarlet Knights last year. The over win total wasn't easy, actually. Rutgers are the type of team. Yeah, it came down to the last week. It came down to the last week. And Rutgers are the type of team, guys, like they won a few games that we didn't think they were going to win, and they lost a few that we didn't think they were going to lose.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you can't really, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalpost got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. This, I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Face. It's the new face. New face of what? The hell are you talking about? Like seriously. Oh, the new face of the NBA, Anthony. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, really? Guy's got 2 shots. You're the face of the NBA. Slow down. He's a good player. I've always thought the whole face of the NBA thing was comical. You want him to be the face of the NBA because you don't like it that all the other faces in the NBA aren't American.
SportsRage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
And if you go through Cat, that means Cat at 11-1 could be Eastern Conference Finals MVP. The worst team in the WNBA is the Chicago Sky. They have no perimeter play. They're playing too many minutes. And Angel Reese doesn't have the help she needs.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's do this thing. All right, we talked NFL football. Week 1 CFL is here. Less than 24 hours from now. We'll be on the air watching the game live, along with the NBA Finals, of course. But it's the old school Rough Riders versus Rough Riders. But now it's the Red Blacks versus the Rough Riders on Thursday night. Defending Grey Cup champion Toronto Argonauts are in Montreal on Friday night. Hamilton is in Calgary on Saturday afternoon/evening. And in the nightcap, the BC Lions host the Edmonton Elks in Vancouver, a game I've been talking a lot about. Snoop Dogg's doing a show before the game, so it's a big party, and they've sold it out, 54,000 people will be in the house. But I want to take a look at the most outstanding player odds / MVP. They call it the MOP in the CFL. Chad Kelly, who's a household name pretty much. Everyone knows Chad Kelly. He's the favorite, but he shouldn't be. He's always suspended and or hurt. There's always drama around him. He's the favorite. And I've talked about this in the past. The Argonauts haven't always been a dominant regular season team. They just show up in the playoffs and win the Grey Cup every couple of years. So I don't think Chad Kelly's a great bet at plus 425 personally. Nate Rourke, who Nate Rourke was the MVP of the league, and then he wanted to play in the NFL or at least make big NFL money, at least being a backup. He tried for 2 years. He bounced around from practice roster to practice roster, never really got an opportunity. Signed back with the BC Lions, so now he's locked in. He's not distracted by anything anymore. He's the second favorite at plus 700. Bo Levi Mitchell, they're looking for a career resurgence here. Bo Levi Mitchell is 8-1, plus 800. Davis Alexander, the new starting quarterback for the Montreal Alouettes, is 10-1. Longtime vet Zach Caleros is 10-1. Brady Oliveira, the running back with the Bombers, is 11-1. Drew Brown is 11-1 with the Ottawa Red Blacks, and I'm kind of bullish on Ottawa this year. But Rick Saratella, what do you think? You were in the CFL last year with the Edmonton Elks for a year, so you got a feel for this league right now. If you were going to bet on a player to win the MVP, who would you take? A player or two here.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm missing Canada right about now. That's for sure. I'm surprised. Now, I'll tell you one thing about CFL odds. Vegas is always on like a 7-second delay. So, like, you can catch some good odds, right? Like Chad Kelly, it's already been established. He's going to start on the IR. They just started debating whether it's going to be the 1 game or the 6 game. So, like, he might miss the first month of the season. I don't know why he's favored. But to me, I'm looking at a guy like Bo Levi Mitchell. I like what the Hamilton Tiger Cats did in the offseason, starting with their front office and just the whole way they built it with the Canadian imports that they brought in. And I think Hamilton, outside of Montreal, who I think is going to actually get back to the Grey Cup and take it this year, Hamilton would be my dark horse. So I'm going to go Bo Levi Mitchell because traditionally this has been predominantly a quarterback award.
Oh, it is a quarterback. One thing with Mitchell and the Ticats is their defense isn't great. So they're going to play in a lot of high-scoring games. I think, though, the Bo's numbers were a little bit overinflated last year because they were losing all the time, right? Like they were down big often, and they threw the ball a lot. But one thing with Milanovic's offense, the coach there, he is aggressive. Like he does like to throw the ball deep down the field. So he's going to have a chance to put numbers up. But I'll tell you, Nate Rourke, and the thing with Nate Rourke, guys, is he's a Canadian. And who votes for this stuff? The Canadian media. Right? I'm just saying. So they like to sort of, and it's rare that they get an opportunity to vote for one of their own because they have the most outstanding Canadian separate award. But if Nate Rourke puts up big numbers, I personally think, and he will, I'm not saying the Lions are going to be a great team. I don't really know. There's a lot of question marks around them this year. But I do know he'll put numbers up, Rick. And Buck Pierce is the new coach in BC. And Buck Pierce was a psychopath when he was a quarterback, bro. Like, this guy was literally like one of the toughest players I've ever seen in my life. Like, they had to force him to retire. Like, they were like, you can't play anymore. Like, you're going to die, right? Yeah, but he told Nate, he's going to get Nate killed, though, Rick. He told Nate, I want you to run more and be more aggressive. So, well, I think Nate's going to put some numbers up, right?
Well, listen, I mean, if I'm being honest, I didn't love what I saw last season. I get it. He was working off the rust. He had a lot of time off. But I got to see him do it. Like, Vernon Adams, I think, could be in contention for this MVP race if Calgary does what we think they will do, and if they make the playoffs. I mean, this guy Vernon Adams is going to have monster numbers, and we saw that. Like,
no, yeah. You're right. You talked about it, Rick, about the level of quarterbacks, bro. How about Trey Ford? He's a hell of an athlete. Can he stay healthy? But he's super exciting to watch play, right? I mean, if the Edmonton Elks suddenly get good, but I know it's a little strange. You were with the Elks. I have question marks as well with the new, we'll see what the new regime does here. But I am a Trey Ford fan. You were there. The fans want to see him, bro, just because he's entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He is an entertaining player. Let's be real.
He's the most entertaining player in the CFL, but you mentioned it. Can he stay healthy? And that's going to determine how far this Edmonton Elks team can go. And I'll tell you what, like they played their starters in the preseason finale against BC's third and fourth string, and it was a very close game. And so I believe that when BC throws their starters out there this week, and I'm not saying it because of sour grapes, but this game could be ugly just because there are so many new moving parts, new coaching, new front office, new ownership, new players. I mean, this roster was gutted. They got rid of everybody. And so I think there's going to be some more, unfortunately, growing pains in Edmonton.
Yeah, and you got a coach that was just a special teams coach forever as the head coach. Like, it was kind of a strange hire to me. And one thing about BC, Buck Pierce is a new coach, but this guy's a CFL vet. He was a quarterback forever, stud at New Mexico State. Longtime coordinator of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's his time. He's ready to dance. Benavidez, a long-time CFL coach. Phillips been around the league forever. Like, the BC Lions have a very experienced coaching staff. My only thought with the Lions, Rick, is that they got all these dudes, bro, that are like CFL lifers. Like, and they're kind of stuck in their ways. So, you know what I mean? I'm just wondering, like, how modern this thing's going to be with the BC Lions.
Well, they did bring in Kamoke Toure from the Rutgers, former third-round pick, second-round pick from the Colts as a pass rusher. And I saw this Fenwick kid out of Oregon State they added to the practice roster. Yeah. Keep an eye on him.
I swear, I said it, man. They got a little too Canadian happy, the BC Lions.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Face. It's the new face. New face of what? The hell are you talking about? Like seriously. Oh, the new face of the NBA, Anthony. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, really? Guy's got 2 shots. You're the face of the NBA. Slow down. He's a good player. I've always thought the whole face of the NBA thing was comical. You want him to be the face of the NBA because you don't like it that all the other faces of the NBA aren't American.
SportsRage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
And if you go through Cat, that means Cat at 11-1 could be Eastern Conference Finals MVP. The worst team in the WNBA is the Chicago Sky. They have no perimeter play. They're playing too many minutes. And Angel Reese doesn't have the help she needs.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
We get so fired up about these games with Rick Saratella, we talk right through the breaks. There's not enough time. We need to go commercial free here. We got about 5.5 minutes and 6 games to get to, so we'll blast through them here. Ottawa Red Blacks, Saskatchewan Roughriders, Thursday night, season opener. Roughriders were 3.5-point favorites last night. It's moved to 3 right now. Who do you like there, Rick, Ottawa or Saskatchewan?
Well, I like Sean Bain, one of the most impressive players in the Canadian Football League for Saskatchewan. However, Ottawa, I think, is going to be putting points on the board with my guy, Geno Lewis. Give me Ottawa with the money line. I like them to win in the upset.
Ooh, upset special. I actually like the Red Blacks plus the points. Love the Red Blacks at a 7-point teaser, getting 10 points. Tease to the over 42.5. Toronto Argonauts. Nick Arbuckle will be starting. The Alouettes were pretty sloppy in the preseason. They ended stronger. They didn't really play anybody, though, so now it sort of gets real for them. The Alouettes were 4.5-point favorites. They're still 4-point favorites in this game, Rick, against the Argos. Who do you like there in Montreal Friday night?
Yeah, Montreal had a lot of new players in camp, but I expect them to be ready for the prime time against the defending champs in the Grey Cup rematch. Toronto got them the last time there. We were in attendance, but, Nick Arbuckle is going to get the start with Chad Kelly on the bench. Give me Montreal to cover in a close one.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats. Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Calgary Stampeders. This is a big game. Both these teams are very similar. Like, they're both, their fan bases want a lot. They both have struggled for years. They've both put a lot of money into the teams in the offseason. They both think they're going to have good years. And now they're playing each other. It should be noted, actually, too, it's the 80th anniversary game. 80 years of football for the Calgary Stampeders, and they're celebrating it with this game. And we talked about it earlier in the week. They got Brett Michaels of Poison playing in 2 weeks at their game, or in a couple of weeks down the road here. So a big game in Calgary. They're really fired up about this one. It's going to be a fun one. It's the highest total, Rick, 52.5. Odds makers are expecting a track meet in this one.
Yeah, I don't know about the over just because there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of new players. And while I do think Hamilton is going to be the play here for the long run, later on in the season, I'll be taking the Ticats. But week one, give me Calgary at home is going to be feeling the love.
And Calgary are 2-point home underdogs in this game. A little bit of movement. It was Hamilton was minus 1.5. Now it's 2. There hasn't been any movement yet in the Edmonton and the BC game. And it's weird, too, because the BC Lions are kind of the public team in the U.S. Most of their games are on the CBS Sports Network. They often go over the number. They were really good for a couple of years. Like, the Lions are always the biggest favorites, and here they are. Here we go again. Biggest favorites on the board here. But last year, the Lions cost people money. Like I said, they got a new coach now, some new faces, but they brought Matthew Betts back in, who tried to make the Detroit Lions, right? That'll make a big difference too, Rick. He wasn't there last year for the whole year. So they sort of have their really good players back from a couple of years ago. But like you said, are you still good? Go out there and prove it. But it does feel like I could see this game opening up, and I could see Nate Rourke putting some big-time numbers up against these kids that are going to be playing defense for Edmonton.
Yeah, and I can tell you we were in on the Nate Rourke sweepstakes a season ago, and he decided to go with your boys BC there. And I think that, like we mentioned it last segment, Edmonton, they gutted the roster. There's going to be a transition period once again. I think BC could cover the spread by halftime, and then you can kick your feet up in the second half and pop open a soda pop.
UFL, we're down to the Final Four, semifinal action. The Michigan Panthers are in Birmingham to take on the Stallions, who have been the Stallions of this league and these leagues over the years. So defending champion Birmingham, minus 125. The game is basically a pick'em, Rick. Michigan have been resting players. They've been a little bit beat up down the stretch here. Seems like Birmingham are starting to heat up again. And then you get the DC Defenders in St. Louis. I like the Battlehawks. So, number one, I think the Battlehawks get it done, guys. They're 2.5-point favorites, minus 150 on the money line. And Michigan and Birmingham, hell of a game, Rick. But I'm going to go with Birmingham. I think Michigan probably falls short, unfortunately, for them once again. Who are you going to take?
Yeah, I got the all-UFL team coming out tomorrow on allaccessfootball.com. Bryce Perkins, the quarterback, and Toa Tua, the Michigan running back, both made my all-UFL team. However, Birmingham just finds a way to get it done. 3 consecutive spring league championships. I know they were hoping to get Alex Magoo back. Instead, they get Matt Corral back. But if Jamar Smith starts, give me Birmingham. St. Louis blew out DC earlier. I think they beat them twice in the regular season. I think the Defenders are going to get revenge behind Jordan Tiamo. I don't feel greatly confident about it, but I think DC could upset them.
no one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you can't really, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalposts got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to be this. I'll say this. This is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8 seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Face. It's the new face. New face of what? The hell are you talking about? Like seriously. Oh, the new face of the NBA, Anthony. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, really? Guy's got 2 shots. New face of the NBA. Slow down. He's a good player. I've always thought the whole face of the NBA thing was comical. You want him to be the face of the NBA because you don't like it that all the other faces of the NBA aren't American.
SportsRage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
And if they go through Cat, that means Cat at 11-1 could be Eastern Conference Finals MVP. The worst team in the WNBA is the Chicago Sky. They have no perimeter play. They're playing too many minutes. And Angel Reese doesn't have the help she needs.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. Always awesome talking football with Rick Saratellas. We touched on all 3 leagues, NFL, CFL, and the UFL. CFL kickoff regular season in less than 48 hours' time, and it is the UFL playoffs this weekend. Dave Delano likes to dabble in the UFL a bit. Let's just get a quick update before we bring Delano in here. It's 4-3 for the Los Angeles Dodgers over the Mets. We got a good one going on at Chavez Ravine. Right now, the Dodgers are currently minus 290, Mets plus 220. Total is 12.5. I'm not sure it's going to get to 13, actually, guys. But we are, like I said, we're in the top of the 5th inning right now. There's 7 runs, but and it just moved it to 12.5, plus 100 to the over, under 12.5, minus 130. Baltimore leads Seattle 3-1. We're in the bottom of the 7th there. In-game total is currently 5.5. Baltimore minus 700. Seattle plus 450. San Francisco hadn't scored since Sunday afternoon. They finally have scored 2-0. They're leading San Diego on the top of the 7th. They're minus 500 right now. In-game total is 4.5. And the Minnesota Twins have tied the Athletics in Sacramento. Top of 6, minus 155 Twins right now. And Twins minus 1.5. That's what I'm on. And I got the over the game. I'm hoping this thing opens up. Twins minus 1.5 is plus 130 right now. The Athletics are plus 130 on the money line. The Twins are minus 160 on the money line. Tomorrow night will be our golf night as it's the Canadian Open this week. But I did see something pretty amusing here about Phil Mickelson. And, you know, Phil Mickelson's kind of becoming an online troll a little bit. He likes to stir the pot online. And somebody... Mickelson was responding to a post that called Joaquin Niemann a top 5 player in the world at the time. Phil Mickelson said that Niemann was the number 1 player in the world. Trevor Immelman saw Mickelson's post and said, this is a hot take. And Phil Mickelson responded to him, Cam, here's a hot take. Does Scotty win again in 2025 before the Ryder Cup? He said this on March 16th. Scotty Scheffler's won 3 tournaments since. So Mickelson didn't think that Scotty Scheffler was going to win again before the Ryder Cup. I don't know. That's not a hot take. That's a stupid take. That's why Phil Mickelson went bankrupt, Cam. He's bet like, no wonder you lost betting so much, bro, with takes like this. Scotty Scheffler's not going to win again before the Ryder Cup.
Excellent. No, this guy, Phil Mickelson's unreal. Like, he's with Neiman and Liv. Like, no offense to Joaquin Neiman. You could argue not even like a top 10. Like, Gabe, he hasn't won a major. Like, the guy makes paychecks, but what has he really done? You've won at Riviera? That's it? Like, Rom's got
You're
majors.
beating a bunch of
Scheffler,
live guys that don't care, that are playing for cash.
Exactly. Like, to say Joaquin Neiman's the best golfer in the world could be the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That's just stupid. Scheffler's won more games, I think, Gabe, than Carolina
But he said this
Panthers.
March 16th. He said it March 16th. Yeah,
Okay.
Scheffler's won 3 tournaments since Mickelson said that he wouldn't win before the Ryder Cup. Yeah, I don't appreciate, though, that was a cheap shot by the PGA there with the Carolina Panthers crack.
Oh, yeah, Panthers versus Scheffler.
They deleted it after. I'm sure Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, called them and said, hey, what's the problem?
Hey, what are you doing?
The Panthers they're minding their own business, Ken. They got nothing to do with your golf tournament, all right? Like, leave us out of it. I'd be upset if I was the Panthers, too. I would say that if I was the Panthers owner's really rich, David Tepper, I'd have it in the book, and I'd be like, someday I'm going to get the PGA back for this somehow. Right, like they're going to need something from me at some time.
On his list, like Billy Madison, he's got it written down.
I'm going to block some business deal. I'm going to block something. I'm going to get these guys down the road for this. But
Morency,
we got to bring Delano in. But last year you lost with the Panthers. Bovey went down with it. We'll get Delano's take on this. But I don't know. Rick Saratella might have had a few. My boy Rick, he loves the CFL too. And he goes, man, like you and I, Gabe, were at the Great Cup with Montreal and Toronto. I'm like, it was Winnipeg and Toronto. I'm thinking it wasn't Montreal. It's Winnipeg and Toronto. They're in the same division. I didn't want to break his heart. He's all fired up. He was at the Great Cup last year, but he got the teams wrong. He had a few at the Great Cup, evidently.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rick's take was, he goes, the Panthers, they'll win 2 games this year. I said, whoa, 2 games. I said last year, I said under 5.5, but I said 2 games. That's ridiculous. I said I think the Panthers win 6 or 7 games. Delano's in the house. What's up, Dave? How you doing?
It's insulting.
I'm doing good. I was gonna say right now, it's interesting seeing how some of the high volume bettors approach things. This is a great time of the year, an exciting time. Sometimes I like to tread lightly, but I see you're in full swing with everything going right now.
Oh, yeah, we're always pedal to the metal. People say, the summertime is slow. No, not around here.
No way.
There's always something. But, okay, before we get into the NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, Dave, what about baseball? You got any late-night baseball action? We've got action on all these games right now. What do you got?
Well, the only one I got, same one that you've got. I took the one that looked like a slam dunk, and I think they're still going to bring it home. I have the Twins on the run line in this one, minus the 1.5. I think they're going to come back and get it done. I mean, this A's have been giving up a boatload of runs. I think that the Twins can hold them down. And later in the game, I mean, that's really where the Twins should shine. So that's the only one that I have going on tonight. Got a couple for tomorrow that I'm looking at, but for tonight, I'm on the Twins run line.
What catches your eye? The Twins just took a 3-2 lead, guys.
There it is.
Twins just took a 3-2 lead, so let's keep it rolling. Top of 6. There's still time for this thing to open up. In-game total just moved to 9.5 right now. Couple of I brought it up off the top, actually. A couple of interesting tidbits tonight from baseball perspective. So Bryce Harper's back for Philadelphia. They snapped their 4-game losing streak. He hit a home run in his first at-bat back. Phillies bats lit up Francis tonight. So that's an interesting game tomorrow if the Blue Jays can bounce back. And this Addison Barger guy on the Blue Jays, 4th game in a row, he's hit a home run. Nobody knows who the hell he is. This guy's got a cannon, too, from right field. Like his serious arm. Like the Phillies were scared. Like they were hitting balls off the wall. They were lighting it up today. They were hitting balls off the wall. There were singles, though. And they're like, yeah, this Barger guy's arm, like, really scares people. But like a lot of people with a good arm, he's cocky. You saw he threw it to third base trying to get someone on a tag out. You weren't going to throw him out, bro, and you ended up throwing it wildly. Vlad Guerrero Sr. used to do that, though. Like, he used to try to show off, and it would backfire. Son of the Mets just tied the game. Mets just tied this game, 4-4. 4-4 baseball game at Chavez Ravine. So it looks like this game is going over.
Too, Gabe. Like, that's the frustrating thing. It looks like Kershaw is going to get out of these innings, and the Mets have done it a couple times with 2 outs. So, yeah, this game looks like it might turn into a track meet here.
Yeah, it's a good series. I mean, he's two of the better teams in the National League, right? Along with the Phillies. 2 of the better teams, as good as it gets. They're going back and forth here. So a big-time game, 4-4 right now. All right, so we'll get Delano's take on the Stanley Cup Finals. Kev, what's your prediction? We got McKinnis' prediction earlier. I'm going to give mine later. What's your prediction for the Stanley Cup Finals? Who wins it and how many games?
I like your bold pick of 5. I'm going to go 6, same as McKinnis. Edmonton in 6. I think they want to end this thing early as possible. It's a good call by you too, Gabe. Remember, the Panthers are going to want to squeeze you and use their physicality, and the longer it gets, I want Edmonton. They got to jump out on these guys early. They got to win home games. McKinnis was right too. Game 3 crucial if they can get one in Florida too. But the longer the series goes, you don't want Florida, with the physical nature of that team, to beat you down. So Edmonton's got to jump on them early, and I believe they can. Oilers in 6.
You can take the Oilers at -1.5 games. So that would be the Oilers. You would win your bet. Oilers in 5 or Oilers in 6. It's +155. My bold pick, if this, you know what? And at these odds, I'll roll the dice on this. I'm thinking pretty bold here, Delano. I said earlier, Edmonton Oilers in 5. Edmonton Oilers in 5. -2.5 games is +330. Let me see the series correct score here, because isn't it a better number? Yeah, Oilers in 5 is +500. The exact series score, +500. Oilers in 5. We'll get Delano's take on the other side, but I really do believe that home ice is going to be a big difference. I think the Oilers are going to win the first 2 games at home. I think they can split. They can split in Florida and then come back home up 3-1.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you can't really, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Knicks really got past that playoff dragon for them that really stood in their way. So for the New York Knicks to be the Celtics and then an outright favorite to win the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where the disappointment is.
The goalpost got moved, right? Because when you went into the Celtics series, a lot of Knicks fans said they weren't going to beat it. I'll say this is more unprecedented than the 99 run when they were the 8th seed.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Face. It's the new face. New face of what? The hell are you talking about? Like seriously. Oh, the new face of the NBA, Anthony. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like, really? Guy's got 2 shots. You're the face of the NBA. Slow down. He's a good player. I've always thought the whole face of the NBA thing was comical. You want him to be the face of the NBA because you don't like it that all the other faces in the NBA aren't American.
SportsRage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
And if you go through Cat, that means Cat at 11-1 could be Eastern Conference Finals MVP. The worst team in the WNBA is the Chicago Sky. They have no perimeter play. They're playing too many minutes. And Angel Reese doesn't have the help she needs.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, and we were talking football with Rick Saratella. I was thinking about the Edmonton Oilers, and they remind me of right now, actually, and I'm not there, right? I'm not at the Stanley Cup Finals, so I'm not in the room with the press conferences, and I was at the Super Bowl, so I saw it up hand, like with the Eagle players, and I remember at media night, I told right away I noticed the massive difference. Like guys on the Chiefs were dancing. and they were doing a lot of the, the Instagram girl interviews, and you could just, it looked like, I don't know, they were very casual about it. Like the Eagle players were all sort of nervous and angry. There was I remember I told someone, I said, look at these guys. I said, dude, they're a lock to win. There's 25 of them standing in the corner. They don't even want to mingle or talk to the media. They look angry and they just want to get out of there. And all week, I can just sort of tell, and it was one of the rare times too that the players stayed downtown where the fans were. It was so you'd see the players walking around and stuff. And the Eagle guys were all effing business all the time. And it was all week you'd hear the stories. Oh, I had a Chiefs were at the casino till 2, 3 in the morning last night. Yeah, I had a Chief player was out at the bar on Bourbon Street. Right? The Chiefs, they've been to the Super Bowl a lot. Eagles had been to the Super Bowl and freaking lost. I see the same thing, Delano, with the Oilers right now. During their, Connor McDavid, this guy, he barely cracked a little smile once in the room, I noticed. Connor Brown, they played a practical joke where they announced the starting lineup and Connor Brown jumped out from underneath the bench and scared everybody. And they did it to break the ice, like they did it in the last series against Dallas. And Connor McDavid actually sort of laughed a bit. And then he sort of said, all right, back to business, guys. Right? And he doesn't smile, and he'll smile when the job is done. And I saw him today talking about, he goes, at first I was a kid, then I just wanted to make the NHL. Then I wanted to dominate the NHL. He goes, now there's only one thing left, and we know what it is. It's the Stanley Cup, Delano. Who's your pick? Who are you taking?
Well, I kind of like going game to game, but I know it's going to be a little bit unpopular. I mean, it's such a toss up, but I'm going to go Panthers in 7 for my series for prediction for the record. Now, the only thing I haven't personally bet on the series, but I do have a wager on game 1, and I'm actually taking the Panthers to jump out in front and to upset the Oilers, a slight upset, a plus 110. And I also like the over 6 in the opening game. I know starting off, it's in a matchup like this, maybe tempted to take the under, but man, the way the Oilers just are able to score at home and the Panthers just been lighting up the scoreboard on the road, even, throughout the entire game. I like the over 6, and I like the Panthers in game 1, and I'll say Panthers in 7 for the series.
I would be shocked if it was a 2-1 game tomorrow night. There's probably going to be goals. Yeah, I'd be really surprised if it was low scoring. Yeah, I don't know. Oiler games are weird. The Oilers have been very consistent, kind of. It's 1-0 early. The totals, they come down, and then once the floodgates open, they'll score a couple of goals in bunches. The other team will respond in bunches. The Panthers are a very bunch scoring type team, as we know, right? They'll score 2 goals in 30 seconds, and then they won't score for 20 minutes. But then they'll score 3 goals or whatnot, a bunch of empty net goals. So it's I'd be very weary about playing the under. I get it. I'm leaning on with the over 1.5 in the first period. They have been
sloppy.
No, but I think it's an advantage for Edmonton personally that they've been off. I think Edmonton, I saw them, dude, they were flying around the rink during practice. Edmonton, they've already been at home. Edmonton aren't the ones that have to travel. And we've seen, Cam, the Florida Panthers have been slow starters in playoff series before. Hell, the Leafs had them on the ropes.
They did.
Teams you can get them. You can beat them early, the Panthers. They get better as that series goes on. They kind of pace themselves knowing that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, these 7-game series is. But they've been a little slow out of the gate at times. I think they're vulnerable early, so I think that the layoff is actually an advantage for the Edmonton.
Good news, fellas.
Oilers.
Twins just scored 3, 5-2, and they got Kais on still. There we go.
Good. Let's get the over now too. Just blow it right open.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, smash. Man, these Oakland pitchers and bullpens—they're the worst in the business. Sorry, Sacramento, the Athletics, they stink. Man, these guys are great to bet against live. They're horrible. Every night, it's the same thing.
They just got out of the inning, unfortunately, but it's 5-2 at least with the Twins now with a 5-2 lead for the Twins. All right, so Dave, you did rain on our parade here because we're pro Edmonton on the show, but I like your contrarian view. All right, so NBA Finals, we got a massive number. You and I have been talking about this for the last couple of weeks, and there really wasn't a difference, guys. Like, we could have bet on the Pacers at plus 500 last week, and they're plus 500 right now. It was kind of set in stone that this is what it was going to be. The odds makers are not, like, moving. They're not impressed by, like, this Pacers run enough that, you know, they're like, sure, you want to take them at plus 500, go ahead. Are you going to bite, Dave? Like a bass in the water? Are you going to bite it to plus 500?
No, I'm not going to bet on the plus 500. I wouldn't. It's hard to count the Pacers out, though. I think they'll put up a better series than most people expect, and they have the coaching advantage. I mean, Carlisle, he pulled off the impossible last time he was there, knocking off the Heat. But what I am going to do at close to those plus 500 odds, at about plus 450, it's plus 400 to plus 450, depending where you're looking. But I like the Thunder, not to just take the Thunder to win the series, because obviously there's no value there. But I like taking the Thunder to win 4-2 exactly. And also, a lot of places still showing around plus 115 for the series to go over 5.5 games, because I do think that the Pacers win at least 2 games. And then if the Pacers, mess around and win the series or do even better than that, there's no way I see Oklahoma City going down and, going down quickly. So I like over 5.5 games for the series. And I also like Oklahoma City at plus 450. To win 4-2.
I agree as far as the Pacers being able to win a couple of games. I think that they're going to be able to, I think they'll be able to win at home. Like, Oklahoma City are nearly unbeatable on the road, and they win by a margin all the time. But you never know. Sometimes nerves get to teams in the NBA Finals in the first game, then they feel better about it after. We'll break it down more on the other side.
Looking for an edge in betting basketball? Injuries can make or break a game. Get insider knowledge from Dr. David Chow and the team of experts with Sick Picks at Sports Injury Central. We reveal hidden health-based advantages the sports books miss. Our doctors provide insights, and our algorithm tells you who to bet on. Spreads, props, totals, in-game bets, Sick Picks covers it all. Go to SickScore.com and sign up for Sick Picks and use the promo code SportsGrid for a free week today.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5 points live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
First time on a casino floor and feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, here's a tip. Lots of machines have a free demo mode you can try for practice. So give those slots a spin in practice mode before you start putting down some real cash. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get...
So the Oklahoma City Thunder are 9.5-point favorites right now in game one. The total is 231. Everybody is expecting a pace here in this series, right? People, it's going to be high scoring. It's going to be high scoring. Yeah, it should be. The only thing that will not get this game over the number is if it turns into a blowout somehow. And we've seen this with Oklahoma City at times, right, where they're just killing the other team by so much, and it does break the will of the other team. The Pacers have been pretty good at not topping out in these games, but, man, the Thunder just go on these explosive runs all the time. But I'll be lining up for the total to the over 231 here. I think it will be a track meet. As far as tomorrow night is concerned, I will go against my esteemed colleague here and Dave Delano. I'm going to take the Edmonton Oilers in Game 1. I think, listen, you can get a nice, like, what, a plus 150 or something. The Oilers to win Game 1 and win the series, plus 160 or so. I don't have a problem with that. Edmonton Oilers to win Game 1, minus 130. As far as the props are concerned, let's go over 1.5 in the first period, minus 130. And I'm going to be Captain Chalk on this one. I'm going to say that the star player set the tone real early for the Edmonton Oilers. So I'm going to roll the dice on Leon's first touchdown score. Leon Draisaitl to score the first goal of the game at plus 750. Connor McDavid to score the first goal of the game at plus 1,000, so 10-1. And maybe to get an early power play goal with Evan Bouchard, who, of course, blasts him from the point. How about this, guys? 22-1, plus 2,200 for Evan Bouchard to score the first goal of the game. So I'm going to roll the dice with the star players, Draisaitl, McDavid, and Bouchard to score the first goal of the game for the Edmonton Oilers tomorrow. Delano, before we get you out of here, you said you were taking a look at some overnight baseball. What are you looking at here tomorrow?
Yeah, I like the Astros tomorrow. A little bit pricey, minus 145. But, man, they had a big win today with McCullers beating Paul Skeens. You've got a Pirates team. They've really struggled to score more than 4 runs in a game. They got Mike Burrows, who's only pitched 2 games this year. They haven't gone well, so I like the Astros minus 145. And a little bit of a lean on the Cubs at minus 134. A pretty good price on the Cubs there. Mackenzie Gore's been pitching well for the Nationals. But that bullpen is terrible, and as well as he's pitched at home, they're still just 1-4 in those games. So normally you see the Cubs a lot more juice that you would have to lay in a situation like this with Boyd on the mound. So I like the Cubs at minus 130, and I love the Astros at minus 145 tomorrow.
Cam, what are your overnight picks?
I like the Oilers as well. I think I'm going to ride the over. First goal of the game, I'm going to go with the Nuge, Gabe Nugent-Hopkins for the Oilers. He's been pretty good to me. I almost want to take a flyer on Corey Perry. Baseball, do I dare take the Colorado Rockies for a 3rd straight win? The price is a little bit light against the Marlins, but you know what? I'd rather have Colorado and Freeland. That line kind of tells you something, too. You're only getting 10, 15 cents with these guys, Morency. I must need my head examined. Give me the Rockies for the 3rd straight time. They'll make it 3.
What a low point for the Marlins, Dave. They get swept by the Rockies.
You know, one of my friends, man, we've been betting on against the Rockies every game. And I told him before this series, I said, let's chill out. I said, not for the Marlins. I said, let's take a break. Wait till they play the Mets. I didn't want to bet on the Rockies, but I was like, this is a bad matchup. I was like, if they got to win more than 9 games. So.
Dave's Twitter goes, relegate them. Were you talking about both teams, Marlins and Rockies?
Yeah, both of them. The Marlins and the Rockies should be removed from Major League Baseball and call up the Toledo Mudhens, or I don't know.
Sweep. Hopefully they get the sweep, and then the price will start to get better value betting against them going forward after they go on this 3-game winning streak.
I'm looking here at a prop here, guys, and it's pretty scary, actually. And for people to think I'm nuts talking about, you know what, I think the Oilers could be up 3-1 after 4 games. So this is the series correct score after 4 games right now. Edmonton Oilers to be up 3-1 after 4 is plus 240 only. I was expecting more, to be honest. I thought, I'll be getting more for this. So a sweep, I don't think either team's going to sweep anybody, but an Oilers sweep is plus 900. A Panthers sweep is 11-1. Panthers up 3-1 after 4 is plus 275. And the most likely scenario probably actually is that they're tied after 4 games at 2. And that happens to be plus 145 right now. All right. Shout out to our boy Fasano in Master Control and all of our guests this evening. Follow Delano online. Get sports strong. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.